In this presentation, I'm going to discuss to you about the role of hemoglobin in gas transport. Transport of both gases between the external and internal respiration site is necessary for the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Even though oxygen is more soluble in blood than carbon dioxide, both gases need a specialized transport system for the majority of gas molecule to move from the lungs to other tissues. Meanwhile, the majority of oxygen molecules are transported by a specialized transport system that depends on the erythrocyte or the red blood cells, from the lungs to the body tissues. Hemoglobin, a metalloprotein found in erythrocyte, serves to bind oxygen molecules to the erythrocyte. The red iron containing pigment and flattened disc-like red blood cells in the blood are in charge of carrying oxygen and carbon dioxide gases. Oxygen is primarily transported through the blood by erythrocyte. These cells contain a metalloprotein called hemoglobin. This hemoglobin is made up of 4 protein subunits, each containing an iron-containing hemigroup. The 4 subunits are arranged in tetrahedral structure, which allows for efficient binding of oxygen molecules. The iron atom in the hemigroup can reversibly bind to one oxygen molecule, allowing the hemoglobin to carry up to 4 oxygen molecules at a time. The structure of hemoglobin allows for efficient transport of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide molecules bind to the hem group, allowing them to be transported from cells to the lungs, where they can be exhaled. Oxygen diffuses into red blood cells and is bound by hemoglobin as it travels across the respiratory membrane from alveolus to the capillary. The formation of oxyhemoglobin is the byproduct of oxygen binding to the hemoglobin, is described by the following reversible chemical reaction. Oxyhemoglobin is a bright red color molecule that contributes to the bright red color of oxygenated blood. Hb in this formula stands for reduced hemoglobin, or hemoglobin without oxygen bound to it. The carbon dioxide is transported by 3 major mechanisms. The first mechanism of carbon dioxide transport is by the blood plasma, as some carbon dioxide molecules dissolve in blood. The second mechanism is transported in the form of bicarbonate, which also dissolve in plasma. The third mechanism of carbon dioxide transport is similar to the transport of oxygen by erythrocyte. To conclude, hemoglobin plays an important role in gas transport in the body. It binds to the oxygen molecules in the lungs, allowing them to be transported to cells throughout the body, where they can be used. It also binds to carbon dioxide molecules, allowing them to be transported from cells to lungs, where they can be exhaled. All in all, hemoglobin continues the cycle by transporting carbon dioxide from tissues to the lungs and oxygen from the lungs to the tissues.